I know you think how you live your life today doesn't matter. I know you believe that the current actions you take are inconsequential to the outcome of your future, which is a fallacy, by the way. That is what the princes want you to believe. Live it up 20s, enjoy your youthful laws, sow your wild oats, go to parties, enjoy romantic relationship. Don't worry, you're young, you figure it out when you're 25 or when you're 30. You've said you want to quit smoking 85 times. Decisions decide destiny. One phenomenon about this decision, or one crazy thing about decisions is, no matter where you run to the ends of the earth, run to the ends of the earth, hide under a cupboard, and the decision or the consequence of your decision will find you with exact precision and mental judgment. So in this world, decisions have consequences, and the consequences have already been pre-programmed to your decision. So we are not allowed to choose consequences, which is what most of you have been doing. We are only at liberty to make decisions. Only at liberty to make decisions. Majority of you fall in the deception that this deception of your decision has nothing to do with your life, which is a fallacy, by the way. We understand by Newton's third law that for every action there's an equal and opposite reaction. As you sow, you shall reap. So whatever decision you're making today, I want you to understand that it has consequences, and the consequence has already been pre-programmed. Take two people. What is the difference between a successful person and a poor person? They can even be brothers. They can go to the same school, go through the same education, live under the same house, eat the same food, yet one is successful and the other isn't. I'll tell you the reason. Because of decisions. I heard of a story of two young men. One would become a successful guy and the other a nuisance and a problem to society. So the problem was traced back to their childhood. Unfortunately, so they didn't have a good father who would provide and protect for them. So they were fortunate enough to bring these two young men and interview them. So they asked the first angry, stubborn brother, why are you like this? Why are you vandalizing government's property? Why are you causing problems to society? He said, what do you expect with the kind of father I have? They asked the second brother, who is successful, causing people to know God, bringing value to society. Why are you like this? Why are you doing all of this? He answered the same thing. What do you expect with the kind of father I have? So for one, his father's negative situation was a challenge for him, that if a poor family came out of me, I would not come out from a poor family. And he began to make quality decisions that brought him up onto the point which he is currently. We all have the same 24 hours in a day, yet some people are successful, some people are not. Are you going to join the first brother who is angry and bitter at the world, blaming everybody, looking for ways to trivialize and downplay people's success, looking for trying to come up with all these conspiracy theories about successful people and attributing their wealth to some kind of generational business? They didn't do it by themselves. They had this rich stepfather, and they trace ideas and try to create stories in order to match that their belief system as an excuse to remain where they are. But my friend, even if what you're saying it was true, which I guarantee you it is not, if what you're saying is true, say they had this generational business, but at some point someone had to create that business. Someone was poor, someone became the trailblazer, someone decided as an act of his will to become better. and create that business which have profited not just himself but generations to come. Decisions have consequences, and the consequences have already been pre-programmed. If I walk to the summit of this building, we are 3 feet high, and I jump, chances are excellent that I'm going to hit the floor. I would fall. So falling is a consequence that comes in honor to that decision I made. Why I'm sitting here now and I haven't fell, I'm not on the ground, because I've not made the decision that activates that consequence. Majority of you understand this to be true. Majority of you can see this is a fact, but you still make wrong decisions with your life. Why is that? Because the consequence is not as immediate as this extreme example I just gave. So going to the club, you don't see the effect in 1, 2, 3 years. You don't see the effect in 1, 2, 3 days. You don't see the effect immediately. Taking all these drugs, following the hedonistic path, going to junk fest and all these carnivals and pretending like some guy is God. You do not see the immediate effect of that. You do not see the problem that poses on your destiny. That's why you keep making wrong decisions with your life. In today's video, I'm going to share with you 3 key decisions you have to make in order to become successful. 3 decisions everyone has to make to become better. Like I said, decisions have consequences, and consequences have already been pre-programmed. In this world, you are not at liberty to choose consequence, which is what most of you are doing, most of you want to do. You say you want to be successful, you read these self-help books or listen to a video on manifestation. Instantly, you begin to take action. So you read in the Bible where they say, ye are kings, ye are gods. You say to yourself, from today, I'm never going to do my own laundry. I'll eat only at a high-end restaurant. You begin to take action as opposed to be transformed by that new philosophy. What happens is, at the end, is you do not see the effect of this wrong narrative till you are depleted. Once you're depleted, you come back to yourself like the prodigal son. The worst part of it is, any amount you get, because we as humans, we tend to be consistent with our words. So any amount you get, you would spend it lavishly in honor to that belief system. And when you have spent and depleted yourself on multiple occasions, you come to the conclusion that this God thing, I'm not sure it works. Then you start walking by sight. You start being logical. You go back to knowledge. You stop walking by faith. But faith doesn't necessarily mean depleting yourself in order to purport a certain narrative. There's a way you can hold yourself in high esteem that doesn't require spending a ton of money. You have 5 million in your account. You attend the birthday party that requires you to spend 1 million just at a birthday party. It's only a matter of time before you become depleted as a human being. So decision has consequences. Consequences has already been pre-programmed. Stop choosing the consequence you want. Choose the decisions, and by extension, that consequence will follow suit. This is what I call solving problems with logical solutions. Logical solutions do not work. That's what anyone will try and do. Solve problems with psychological solutions. Instead of making the train faster, make the experience more enjoyable. One costs billions of dollars and the other pennies relatively. Billions of dollars for a train to move faster. Engineers have to brainstorm. Billions, so much trial and errors. But making the experience more enjoyable, it might be something as easy as putting on free Wi-Fi, giving out free food, putting a cute hostess or putting a cute air hostess, employing beautiful people. It might be something as simple as that. There's this example I will give you. Some time ago, my tenants were complaining that the elevator in the apartment was too slow, that I had to call in some engineers to increase the speed. I called in some engineers. I asked them how much. Because it's me, they slammed me this huge bill. I'm like, wow, just for increase in seconds. I thought to myself, this is a logical solution. This is what anyone would try and do. The psychological solution was to floor it with mirror from the ceiling to floor, filled with mirror. Understand the fundamentals of human nature, that we are all narcissistic by nature and no one cares about anything other than himself. So people would get lost in staring at themselves that they forget the actual duration time. After that feat, I got zero complaints. The strategy worked. The strategy worked. So this is the same thing we see with Uber. Uber, the problem they solve is not necessarily because this service they provide is new or it's never been used before. Before now we have taxis, before now we have private chauffeurs. But what Uber did was to solve a psychological problem, which is the psychological problem of waiting. When you call a taxi driver, especially here in Africa, when you call a taxi driver, the anxiety lies in whether he stopped to take a piss, whether he's doing another delivery, especially with delivery, whether he's doing something else while taking your due. So Uber gives you an Uber map to track the progress, to track where he is currently. So as it's coming, you're seeing it that 5 minutes to wait, 5 minutes more, 10 minutes more is going to show. So it's still the same duration of waiting, but different perspective. Now you are more at ease. The anxiety is less because you can see the progress he's making towards your direction. That's the first one. So decisions are very key in our day-to-day experience. Whatever you do, whatever you sow, you shall reap. So 3 decisions that you have to make, that anyone has to make to become successful. If you don't cover it, anywhere we stop, we continue the next time. The first one is decision to be financially independent. I can't stress this enough. Majority of you are very young and you say to yourself, well, there's still time, let me enjoy my youth, let me not learn a skill, let me be degenerate, let me attend every single party. When I'm 30 or 27, I'll figure it out. My friend, that potential you're stifling, that thing you're putting off, that decision you're avoiding making because it's so overwhelming, you don't know where to start. And whenever that still voice comes to convince you to change your ways, you plug in earpods, you plug in things, or you find a way to distract yourself from that reality. If that is overwhelming now that you have less things to focus on, imagine how worse it will be when you have kids or when you have responsibility. Deal with that confusion now. Deal with those problems now. Do not wait or do not allow some job define your personality. Do not allow some job or some external thing define your future. Decision to be financially independent. When sometime maybe you do not see the extent of this wisdom till maybe to the loss of a family member, and to take care of the kids, now the financial responsibility now falls on you and you don't have enough money because you didn't work hard in your 20s. That is when the reality of your wrong decisions will creep in. You don't want to be that guy who at his 40s, 50s or 60s and he regrets not starting that business. He regrets not building relationship. He regrets not exercising on time. He regrets all of these things. Start now. Nothing can be perfected. Perfection is highly desirable, but nothing man-made is or can be perfect. To wait for perfection is to wait forever. It's like saying, I'll make this street once all the lights on the street are green. The chances of you making that trip are in the single digits because it's impossible. The only perfect time is right now. So start now. Decision to be financially independent. Stop wasting your time. Stop believing that you're young. If you're still in your parents' house, go and ask for forgiveness. Dad, mom, I'm sorry because I've been wasting my time playing football when I don't have the destiny of a sportsmanship. I will sit down and focus on my destiny. When I have money, I will play it as a leisure. But for now, I cut off every distraction. Give me 1 year and I'll move out of your house. I don't know what I'm going to do, but one thing is for sure, I am not going back. Then the spirit of wisdom takes it up from there. See, my friend, seek and you shall find. Knock and the door shall be opened unto you. For whoever seeketh, findeth. Whosoever asketh, receiveth. So ask, my friend, seek, my friend, and you shall find. The second one is to decision to make progress with your life, decision to have a purpose. I can't stress this point enough because majority of people believe that, oh, rich people are sad or rich people are not happy. Why they are not happy is because they made money using their body, not their mind. So they made money through entertainment for most. They made money through some outlets, and they were one-dimensional, focusing on money alone as opposed to something that makes them happy. You have to derive something that makes you get out of bed, something to look forward to. Majority of you wake up like an accident. No burden on your life, no burden on your time. You wake up by 12 a.m., no consequences. Nobody cares if you exist. You're just living for yourself. If you do not impact someone's life, you effectively never existed. If you do not impact someone's life, you effectively never existed. So this is the cause for depression, because majority of people, when they lack no identity, when they have nothing towards life, nothing, no aspiration, no goals, they become depressed. So sustain the consciousness to have a purpose, find something that gets you out of bed. The problem with depressed people is they lack no identity, so they identify themselves as depressed people in order to gain an identity. At least when you're depressed, you have an identity. At least when you're depressed, you have people to talk to and cry your eyes out. Take turns every Wednesday and Thursday to talk about how suicidal and how you do not want to live. To talk about why your life is shit, and you actually have people listen to you, pat you on your shoulder and tell you it's all going to be alright. At least there's something comforting with that identity. That is why most people have veered towards that route. Decision. Have purpose. If you do not have a purpose, you're going to end up hedonistic, suicidal, and you eventually die. Let's take you for instance. Imagine you had all the money in the world, you had all the cars, all the women, everything you want is at your beck and call, but you lack purpose. You do not know what you're doing with your life. Sure, it might be fun for in the beginning stages, but 2, 3, 4, 5 years down the line, would it still be fun? Would you still want to live? Would you still want to do all of those things? Exactly. So, decision to have a purpose. The third decision is to make spiritual progress. My friend, I want you to understand that this world is cohabitated on wickedness. Every single thing was designed to promote wickedness more than good. If you live, or if you're a farmer and you stop farming for a while, something sprouts on your farmland. What is that? Exactly. Why don't cute lilies or yams, tubers of yams, sprout? Because the world was designed to favor the wicked in a way. This is not an excuse to remain limited, because the Bible says it. Behold, I've sent you as sheep unto wolves, and if you do not learn the laws of the jungle, you're going to get eaten. That's the reality of it. You will get eaten. So learn the systems that governs this cosmos. Learn the laws of the jungle, as Christians, and this is something unbelievers have against us. Unbelievers are irrationally logical. They understand that if I don't advertise my business, it's very difficult to believe that it will grow. But as Christians, we ignore advertisements, we ignore everything that acts as an aid to promote our business, and we believe that God will push it for us. Months ago, I was looking for where to get diamonds, and because of the insecurity, I wanted to get it from a reputable source. Scrolling on Instagram, I came across this page. It was a sponsored ad. It was this girl, she had invited influencers over to her conglomerate, so they were advertising her diamonds, giving a shout out to her. That shows the level of diligence and determination to make that business work. Whereas some Christians somewhere is sitting behind the counter hoping things will happen magically. Now I got diamonds from that lady only because she created an awareness for her product. Yet some Christians hoping that God will do it magically. And of course he can do it, but he has given laws and keys. Why don't you take advantage of it? He says it, behold, I have lifted my word above my name. Take advantage of the word of God. Be spiritual. Majority of you have downplayed spirituality as you tell me. But there are major decisions in your life where you have to go for a retreat and seek answers. You make a major decision with your life like relocating over coffee. Are you joking? Is that how irrelevant your destiny is towards you? That you cannot sit and calm down, weigh the pros and cons, pray over it before you make that decision. I remember months ago about to start my first business venture. I initially wanted to go out of school, drop out, start the business in a wrong location. I didn't know it was wrong at that time, but going back to the place of prayer and the word of God, tearing down all wrong assumptions, looking at that business in hindsight, it would have failed woefully. It would have failed woefully, not just because of location, but the idea that that was not, of course, that location would be in the future, but the vision was not yet clear in order to start like that. So be very careful. Pray over important decisions. There are people who have escaped this country, landed on European soil, and they made billions of naira. While there are people who landed on European soil, either they ended up in jail or they came back after 30 years like a slave. So be very careful with your life. Your decisions will decide your destiny. Your decisions will cause a ripple effect amongst your today. As always, my friend, it's a pleasure speaking to you. I'll see you in the next one.